the love of God will protect you from absolutely nothing. And if what you're expecting is the love of God to protect you from cancer, that doesn't happen. And if you think the love of God is going to protect you from natural disaster, or the love of God is going to protect you from the death of the child, how much evidence do we need that the love of God does not protect us from such things? Most of us would be a little nervous if, when a tornado went through, somebody said something like the following: the reason that that child died in the tornado is because God had a reason he wanted that child to die. That'd make most of us a little nervous. But we think nothing of saying, the reason I survived this tornado, I know, is because God decided to spare me. And what I want to say is, you know no such thing. One is as problematic as the other. The one thing you know is this, that in all things God works. God doesn't just work in the light, he does some of his best work in the darkness. And the great lie of American evangelicalism is to say, when you pray for a parking place and find it, God is with you. And when you pray for a parking place and run out of gas looking for it, God is not with you. And what I want to say is, God is in all things. Not that he does them, not that they're good, but God works in all things. And I wonder what would happen if at some point we quit asking the question, why did this happen to me? And start asking the question, what can God do in this? Because the promise of God is not that we will be protected from all of the bad things that happen in this life. The promise is they are not final, and you will not go through them alone. The promise is, whatever it is, God will crawl in and work. It is the story of the incarnation, of the cross, of God's personal willingness to crawl into the loneliness and pain and desertion and rejection and sin itself, God's willingness to crawl into those things and work in all of them. I'm just saying this: God works in all things. I fear that too often in churches we have made promises we cannot keep. The love of God will not spare you the pain of this groaning world. But this is the promise. In whatever you suffer, God will work. And nothing will separate you from the love of God. For God works in all things.